Today we're going to look at the connection of Vusimuzi Cat Matlala to this PRASA corruption. So let me go back and remind you that what the PC Police Commissioner of KZN, Tantam Kwanazi, said. They said they were assigned to investigate the political killing and also the whistleblower killing in South Africa, and to help the team in KZ and other matters of politicians and so on, and also artists. They were helping the Gauteng police. They raided a place in December 2024. This raid was on Matlala, Vusimuzi Matlala's residency as part of a broader probe into PRASA tenders awarded to Mazia JC, implying a key investigative link between Matlala and Mazia's contracts. So now the allegations that were made in a dossier by a whistleblower flagged that there was nearly 2.7 billion rands in suspicious advance payment that were made to Mazia JC. Although Delport, who is the sole owner director of this Mazia JC, is listed, evidence suggests that Matlala benefited financially, reportedly as part of this hidden syndicate. So this essentially the allegation as based on this dossier written by this whistleblower is that Mazia was just JC owned by this person called Delport was just a front. And the beneficiary of this 2.7 billion rands that was made in advance was this Matlala person, Vusimuzi Cat Matlala. So this then raises also another element of this company fronting behavior. Because Matlala is known as a serial tenderpreneur, also has a very known documented history of using front companies and proxies to win state tenders, like the Tembisa hospitals, the SAPS, which is the South African Police Services, health and well-being of injured South African policemen, and also supplying critical equipment to the hospital. So this actually PRASA, tender thing, it also follows the same pattern that Mazia's GC is a public face, but evidence suggests Matlala controls or profited behind the scene. Yep. So is Vusimuzi Cat Matlala a South African citizen? Why does he allegedly hide behind front companies to land billion rand state contracts? And why has none of this stuff created jobs or improved any South African lives? Because fronting is not just a BE scam. Fronting is how mafia style corruption works in South Africa. Cat Matlala allegedly uses these clean names like Chris Delpoint to front company like Mazia General Services, which is Mazia GS, giving the illusion of legitimate ownership and BE compliance, when in reality, he is pulling strings from the shadows. So the thing is, though these front entities were put forward as like GRIG, Mazia JV, and Macri JV, nearly 18 billion rands in tenders were awarded. But the issue is here. The JVC weren't even registered by the tender deadline. Billions were paid in advance to accounts not registered to valid companies. Zero jobs created, no real recovery. This isn't incompetency, people. This is systemic looting, public funds looting. This is elite welfare. Despite Cat Matlala being a South African, yeah, allegedly needs fronts. Why would he need fronting? Why can't he just have a company registered under his name and have qualification that are publicly known? Who is Vusimuzi Cat Matlala? Could it be because he's linked to past investigations, criminality before? So his name cannot appear in contracts. So using really credible professionals like Delpoint and Mazia therefore removes these fingerprints was he going to benefit from securing state billions. This is how a mafia state loads public funds. This is how they load public funds. This is really bigger than the cat. It's actually show how the mafia state survives. Mafia state survives by replacing real governance with smoke, mirrors, and front companies. Next time you hear that they talk about this infrastructure developments, you need to really find out who is behind the name. Another thing you have to think about is the mafia state tenderpreneurship. It's not about development. It's actually elite welfare. You're just giving welfare to elite people who are connected. A few connected individuals like Vusimuzi Cat Matlala, they get rich overnight while the public gets nothing but, broken hospitals that are not built, collapsed railways, and empty promises. They become a form of elite welfare because there's no value for money. Contracts are awarded not for delivery of service but for connections. Services aren't completed or worse, never started, yet already payment in billion rands are made. Why would you make so much money before anything is constructed? It's ridiculous. This is how elite welfare works. Now, fronting also marks the beneficiary. Like companies like Mazia General Services are used as fronts. The real power brokers hide behind compliant faces to cash in. These are public funds, but the wealth is private. So we have at least 2.7 billion rands being paid in taxpayer amount of money into a private account with no job creation, no infrastructures, no audits. This is corruption as economic policy. The states become a vehicle for redistributing the wealth into wealthy individuals. So it's like a vehicle to redistribute wealth upwards to those elites from the poor to politically connected, because it's not going to build any, not going to improve any services of this in this poor community. This poor community is still going to live in this crowded, short time cuckoo houses. They're not going to have any houses built. They're not going to have any railway. They're not going to have a new school built. They're not going to have a new hospital built. The wealth is being redistributed upwards. So it's not a welfare for people, it's welfare for the mafia. So tenderpreneur is not new welfare. We're not providing new things to the community, new innovation. Any individual who gets richer by getting government tenders and they don't build new industry, that is a form of welfare. And in this case, we have politically connected people who are benefiting, in this case, in South Africa. So while citizens are lining up, begging for electricity, for safety, for medicines, the elites, the welfare elites, tenderpreneur, they loot billions through fake companies and ghost tenders. Vusimuzi Cat Matlala isn't alone in this one. He's a product of a system built to serve itself.